Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the King English podcast channel, where we make learning English not only easy, but also really fun. I'm Anna.
And hello, Anna. Let's send a warm greeting to all our wonderful listeners. I'm Tom. How's your day going, Anna?
I feel great, Tom. It's such a joy to be here with you and everyone tuning in. How about you? Everything good?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm super excited and ready for another fun episode with you.
Same here. Before we officially start, we want to say a big thank you to all of you for listening. Seriously, if you enjoy our channel, please share it with your friends.
That's right, absolutely. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like. It really helps us a lot, more than you might think.
It really makes a big difference. All right, today's topic is super fun. We're going to chat about all the things we really like to do.
A perfect topic. You know, in English, one of the most common ways to get to know someone is to ask, "What do you like to do?"
Exactly. It's the best icebreaker question, isn't it? Perfect for learning a little bit more about a new friend. So, Tom, let me ask you, what's something you really like to do?
Good question. I actually like quite a few different things. For example, one of my favorites is reading.
Oh, that's wonderful. To let someone know you like something, you can use that simple structure. I like to plus the activity. So, I like to read.
Perfect, Anna, exactly. I like to read. Or, and this is important, you can also say, I like reading. Both ways are completely fine and sound natural.
Right. Either I like to read or I like reading. Great. What kind of books are you usually drawn to?
I'm a fan of novels, mostly fiction, fun stories. What about you, Anna? Do you like reading?
I definitely do. I really enjoy reading. I especially like reading in the morning with my coffee. I find it so relaxing.
Ugh, coffee and a book. That sounds like the perfect start to a morning. So, listeners, you have two options there. I like to read or I like reading.
What about other things, Tom? What else is on your list of things you like to do?
Well, I really enjoy walking in the park. Big trees, flowers, it's so beautiful and peaceful.
Walking is great. So you would say, I like to walk. Nice. Do you try to go walking every day?
I try, yes. Not every day, but maybe 3 times a week. It really makes me feel happy.
That's wonderful. Feeling happy is obviously the most important thing. Hey, we can also add another word that's very close to like. We can say enjoy. For example, I enjoy walking in the park.
Oh, yes, enjoy is a great word. It sounds a little stronger, like you really, really like it. I enjoy walking.
Exactly. And here's a tip. With enjoy, we almost always use the ing form of the verb. So, I enjoy reading or I enjoy walking.
That's a great tip, Anna. So, by that rule, I could say, I enjoy drinking coffee in the morning.
Perfect. Yes. Wow, your morning routine sounds very relaxing, Tom.
It is. How about you, Anna? What's something you enjoy doing?
I really enjoy cooking.
Really? Wow. I'm definitely not a great cook.
It's super fun. I especially enjoy making pasta. It's easy and really delicious.
Pasta, I definitely enjoy eating pasta.
See, we all have something to enjoy. So, for our listeners, you can say, I like cooking or I enjoy cooking. What's your specialty, Tom? You mentioned pasta. Is that your favorite?
Yes, I think so. I like making a very simple tomato sauce. It's delicious.
That sounds tasty. Maybe one day you can cook for me.
Of course, I would really enjoy that. How about music, Anna? Are you someone who likes listening to music?
Oh, I love music. See, we've moved from like to enjoy and now to love. Love is the strongest level.
Right. When you say, I love music, it means you like it very, very much. It's a passion.
Exactly. I love listening to pop music. It just makes me want to get up and dance.
I can totally picture that. I love music too. I love listening to jazz. It's very relaxing for me.
Ah, jazz is wonderful. So, for our listeners, you can say, I love plus a noun. I love music, or I love listening to music.
Yes, it's very easy to use. I love dogs. I love chocolate. I love weekends.
Oh, I definitely love weekends. Who doesn't, right?
Exactly. Weekends are the best. What do you like to do on weekends, Anna?
On weekends, I really like to watch movies. I enjoy going to the cinema or sometimes just staying home to watch a film.
Movies are great. So you'd say, I like to watch movies. What kind of movies do you really love?
I love funny movies, comedies. They always make me laugh.
Laughter is good for the soul. I also enjoy funny movies, but I really like action movies too, with fast cars and lots of adventure.
Welcome back, everyone. That was such a great part one, Tom. We talked so much about the things we love and enjoy.
That's right, Anna. I hope everyone at home is practicing phrases like I love and I enjoy. But today we need to talk about the other side of the coin, things we don't really like.
Exactly. Sometimes you need to say, I don't like that. It's just as important as talking about what you do like.
True. In life, there are just some things we simply don't enjoy. For example, I mentioned that I like pasta, but I really don't like fish.
Oh, so you can simply say, I don't like fish. That's a very clear and easy sentence.
Right. And we can make it a little softer. Instead of saying I don't like, which can sound a bit harsh, you can say I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, I love that phrase. It feels so natural and friendly. For example, I'm not a big fan of doing laundry. It's a little more polite than saying I don't like laundry.
Exactly. Very natural. Or if something really bothers you, you can say I can't stand. For example, I can't stand waiting in long lines.
Wow, I can't stand is really strong. It shows that you absolutely can't tolerate it, even stronger than I don't like. For me, I can't stand loud noise early in the morning.
I get it. So we have three levels. I'm not a big fan of, soft, I don't like, medium, and I can't stand, strong.
Very useful. Let's talk about weather a little. I mentioned that I love autumn. I don't like cold weather at all.
I don't really mind the cold, but I can't stand very humid, sticky weather. I don't like that feeling.
I think most people are not a big fan of humid weather. Tom, do you like camping?
I don't like camping. I enjoy staying in a cozy hotel much more.
I understand. I'm not a big fan of sleeping on hard ground either. It's not very comfortable. So you can say, I don't like to camp or I don't enjoy camping.
Exactly. The structure is still the same. It's simple to remember.
Great. Now, let's move to something a little more technical but very important, especially for people trying to grow a YouTube channel or their business. That is the concept of niche.
Ah, niche. This is an important term. Basically, a niche is a narrow, specialized area that you really focus on.
Exactly. For example, if you like cooking, that's a broad topic, but your niche could be, I love baking small, gluten-free cookies. That's a very specific area.
Right. In the YouTube world, having a clear niche is so important. You need to find something you not only like, but something you're also good at and different in.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I like to make videos, you could say, I love creating short-form videos teaching people one simple English grammar rule every day.
That second one is so much clearer. It tells your audience exactly what they'll get. So a niche is the intersection of what you love and what you're good at.
That's a great way to explain it. For example, we love learning English, but what's our niche?
I think our niche is I enjoy making English lessons feel like a fun, natural conversation between friends.
I totally agree. That's what we really enjoy and hopefully do well.
So our listeners can think, what is my niche? Among the things I like and love, what's special?
That's a great question for them. They can apply this to personal hobbies too. For example, you love gardening, but your niche could be I enjoy growing only rare types of succulent plants.
Very specific. Let's talk about focus. Do you like working with computers, Anna?
I like using computers for work, but I'm not a big fan of all the complicated technical parts inside.
I understand. I enjoy learning about technology. That's part of my personal niche.
That's great. And I also think we need to talk about another phrase people often confuse. I prefer.
Yes, I prefer is used to compare two things. For example, I like coffee, but I prefer tea. That means you like both, but you choose tea.
Exactly. Or I enjoy watching movies, but I prefer reading books in the evening. It puts one thing above another.
So when you talk about your niche, you can say, I like all kinds of videos, but I prefer to focus on my niche.
Very useful. It shows a clear choice. Tom, do you prefer working in the morning or at night?
I definitely prefer working in the morning. I have more energy. I don't like working too late at night.
I prefer working in the afternoon. My mornings are for coffee and reading.
See, we've used these phrases very naturally.
That's right. Listeners should remember they can use like, prefer, enjoy, and love interchangeably.
Let's talk about music again. You said you love jazz. Are there any kinds of music you don't like?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of heavy metal music. It's too noisy for me.
I understand. I don't like country music much. I prefer pop and jazz.
So you like pop music and you prefer jazz over country music. That's a perfect sentence.
Wonderful. I think knowing what you don't like also helps you define your niche.
Absolutely true. If you don't like talking about politics, don't make political videos. Focus on what you love and enjoy.
And that brings us to one last phrase in this section. I'm passionate about.
Oh, I'm passionate about is so strong. It's even stronger than love. It's a deep feeling.
Exactly. If you say, I'm passionate about my niche, it means you really live for it.
I'm passionate about helping people learn English. That's why I enjoy making this podcast.
And I'm passionate about creating valuable content. That's our shared niche.
Perfect. So listeners can choose from I like, I prefer, I enjoy, I love, or I'm passionate about. They're all great ways to talk about what you enjoy.
And don't forget the negative ones. I don't like, I'm not a big fan of, and I can't stand.
That's a full toolkit for talking about your likes, dislikes, and your niche.
Right. Tom, do you like washing dishes? I know you don't like it, but do you enjoy it at all?
I don't like washing dishes. I prefer putting them in the dishwasher. It's definitely not my niche.
I get it. Very natural. So listeners, we hope this part 2 has given you more vocabulary to express the things you don't like, as well as to think about your niche, the specific area you're passionate about.
Exactly. Don't try to do everything. Find what you love and focus on that. That's our best advice.
See you in part 3, where we'll talk about niche in work and business.
Welcome back, everyone. This is part 3, and today we're going deeper into the idea of niche, especially how it connects to your work or career.
That's right, Anna. We've already talked about likes, dislikes, enjoy, love, and even passion. But when it comes to work, niche becomes really powerful.
Exactly. Let's start with a simple question. Why is having a niche so important in your career?
Good question. I think if you try to do everything, people get confused. But if you have a clear niche, people know exactly what to expect from you.
Yes, it builds trust. For example, imagine you're a teacher. You could say, I teach English. That's very general. Or you could say, I help beginners practice English conversation through simple daily topics. That's a niche.
Right, and it makes you stand out. In business, that's essential. Think about restaurants. If one place says, we serve food, it's too general. But if another says, we specialize in fresh handmade sushi, that's a clear niche.
I love that example. So, for our listeners, your niche could be what makes your work special. It's like your identity in the professional world.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Your niche often comes from the things you enjoy most. For example, Anna, you enjoy reading and creating lessons. That's why your niche is making English fun and natural.
True. And Tom, you love conversation and technology. That's why your niche is podcasting and making learning interactive.
Exactly. So, listeners, think about this. What do you enjoy so much that you could keep doing it every day without getting bored? That's often a sign of your niche.
Very true. Let's practice some sentences people can use when talking about their niche at work. For example, I specialize in.
Oh, yes, that's a great phrase. For example, I specialize in helping students speak English confidently.
Perfect. Or, I specialize in designing websites for small businesses. It's clear and professional.
Another phrase is, my focus is on. For example, my focus is on creating healthy vegetarian recipes.
That sounds great. And you can also say, I'm passionate about. For example, I'm passionate about teaching young learners through games.
So now we have a set of powerful work-related phrases. I specialize in, my focus is on, and I'm passionate about.
Yes, and all of them help you explain your niche clearly. Tom, can you give one more example with technology?
Sure, I specialize in helping small businesses use technology to grow online. That's clear and niche specific.
Perfect. For me, I would say my focus is on creating simple English conversations that anyone can practice.
That's exactly what makes your work so special.
Thank you. So, listeners, take a moment to think. If someone asked, what do you do? Could you answer with a niche statement?
That's a powerful question. And if you can't yet, don't worry. Just start with your likes, your enjoys, and your passions. From there, your niche will become clear.
Beautifully said. I think that's the perfect way to end part 3.
Agreed. Today we learned how to connect your likes and passions to your professional niche and how to express it with clear, strong phrases.
So, to all our listeners, practice saying sentences like, I specialize in, my focus is on, and I'm passionate about.
And remember, your niche is where your passion and your skills meet. That's where the magic happens.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us in part 3.
We'll see you next time for another fun and meaningful conversation. Keep practicing, everyone.